Nick, the I-Paper. The Tories are getting tough with their national service plans. Young people would be getting worried if it weren't for, the obvious.
Yeah, this is shocking. Teens who refuse national service could get driving licence points under Tory plans. Anyone who watched who was sort of bored enough to sit through the Question Time special last night, tragically I was, because I felt responsible, as this is kind of my job.
Yeah.
Sunak talked about this bizarre national service policy, and he said, well, you'll have a set of sanctions and incentives, and we'll look at the models that are existing around Europe to get the appropriate mix of those. There's all sorts of things that people do across Europe, whether that's looking at driving licenses or other access to finance. And that was a kind of scary line, like, well, you're going to freeze bank accounts, like there's a truckers protest in Canada if they don't want to go to war or something. So it's obviously, now he just said, and a spokesman has said, no, he was just talking about examples, stuff they do in Latvia. He's not literally saying we'll do it, but he did say it on the BBC, so people are worried. And it's a terrible policy because it's another attack on young people, and it's already perceived that the Tories only care about triple lock pensions, quadruple lock, etc. And Kwasi Kwarteng on this channel tried to defend it today, saying, it's about bringing people together because we're not cohesive as a society anymore. It's like, well, whose fault is that? Do you think part of it is because of the massive numbers of immigration under the Tories, and other things we could do, like just stop the education system being, all about indoctrination, about hating the country? I don't think national service is going to solve that problem. It's certainly going to, and certainly with the extra worry about getting points on your driving licence, utterly insane. It's a great way to lose more votes.
There was a story about 3 weeks ago that the average price of newly passed 17-year-old drivers trying to insure a car is $3,000. So they ain't driving.
Yeah.
So why not punish them by putting stamps on something that they ain't going to use?
Yeah, absolutely.
Toothless.
And I do think that national service could be a good idea because obviously we're going to need an army at some point soon to fight a big war with Russia. But to put points on driving licences, I think Sunak basically pulled this out of the air on the spot. And now it's been turned into a news story. But, I think it's kind of, it's not part of official Tory policy. It's just something he said when he was spitballing.
The fact that you've got David Davis, not that one, but the Welsh one, actually saying this will not happen, this is not a policy. But the headline, even though the journalist who wrote it knows that, because they typed that up lower down, but the headline still does exactly what you're saying. If you can boil it down to a false headline that scares people, that's what they do.
Just for the record, before people tweet me, I'm not necessarily against national service either in general. If we had a kind of generally conservative country, no divorce, death penalty, I'd be like, whatever, if we had like an actual, I don't mind a bit of authoritarianism. If we had an actual
divorce, if I were willing to take 3 points.
If we had a kind of I'd get rid of no-fault divorce and things like that. I'd make it harder. I'm just saying, if we had
You've got to fight at the front line and lose a limb if you want to get divorced.
I'm just saying, if we had an actual conservative country, a proper conservative government, bringing in things like that, but it's the way they're done, and as a last-minute vote winner, it just seems mental.
I just think national service would have done me a world of good when I was younger because I would have become right-wing much sooner.
Good point.